Hello, so I am going to talk about the stress interviews that I conducted. The assignment said to conduct three interviews with different people. I chose three people from different walks of life because I felt like I would get more of a broader deal of stressors. So I decided to interview a restaurant manager, my husband, who happens to be a truck driver, as well as a friend who is from a different country. Um, so I'll just get right into it. The first person that I interviewed was the restaurant manager. I asked him to explain his personal stressors. He said that work, his physical appearance, and his lack of a social life was his three biggest stressors, and something that he thinks about every day or definitely on a weekly basis. He told me that his coping methods before COVID, he would go to the gym, and now he just sleeps, play video games, drink alcohol, and have sex. Um, so I offered him some advice about how to deal with his stress and some coping methods. I told him to he should continue to exercise and pick that back up, whether it's in a gym or at home, because exercising give him time to relax, and it can actually help him work on one of his stressor, which is physical appearance. Obviously, if you exercise, one of the benefits is losing weight, feeling better, looking better, and going to the gym once everything is back normal, which I think we're starting to head back into that direction, can actually help him build a social life. Finding a workout buddy, a gym buddy, all of those things can kind of help him with two of his stressors. Um, Another thing that I offered him, a lifestyle change, could actually help him with his ways of dealing with stress. He can limit his alcohol beverage consumption, um, and don't claim alcohol beverage consumption as a stress reliever. I can't stress the importance of not or of getting in a habit of saying like I drink alcohol or I smoke to relieve stress, because you program your brain to believe that, okay, I need this to eliminate stress, because then your brain becomes dependent upon it, and so you're going to go back to that method, and anytime you deal with any kind of stress, you're going to overindulge, and then it's going to have a negative effect on his diet. So I just told him to, not to claim it as a stress reliever, so he doesn't program his brain to, want that when he is feeling stressed out. Again, because alcohol affects the diet, and poor diet increases the susceptibility to stress by causing fatigue and irritability. The next person I stressed is excuse me. The next person I interviewed is a friend of mine. Her name is Teddy. Um, Teddy is from Nigeria. She's African, and she just recently became a legal citizen in the United States. She's dealt with a massive amount of stress, and I felt like it would be important to, interview her and just talk to her about, what were some of her worries or things that currently stress her out now that she is a legal citizen. What is her stressors now? So she she said that her stressors now are making a lot of money, buying Gucci, and preparing to travel to Nigeria. Um, when the thing that stresses her about traveling to Nigeria, she says that she must have at least $10,000 to give away, because it is expected that she gives money whenever she returns home. And I asked her a little bit, to explain a little bit more why is it expected, because she said, and somewhere in the mind of the people back home, they think that if once you make it to America, like, you are the ultimate person, you made it. Although she said, her family and friends are much richer there than they are here, and they don't really understand the American hustle. She tried to explain to them it's pretty much the same. You have people in poverty, but you have people who does really well. But she just said in their culture, it is expected that they come home with gifts and give away at least, she said at least at a minimum $10,000 or whatever. I observed her stressors to be cultural, and I feel like it's because she wants to prove something to people. I think in the African culture, from what I know about her, it's important that they constantly prove themselves, because I think some of the stereotypes that Africans face, where even just American, the pressures we put on them, we think, you have that I guess that preconception that everybody is poor in Africa, and I think they feel like, they have to impress people with Gucci and all of these designer things to prove their value. So I think a lot of the stresses is, like I said, cultural, and it's on her. Whereas me as an American, I wouldn't necessarily stress about giving someone or giving people $10,000. When I go home, I don't have to work. I don't have that stress. My family don't expect me to bring them at least $10,000. I told her that she could, in order to deal with her stress, that she could maybe make a lifestyle change and improve her time management skills by writing out, long-term and short-term goals. Her long-term goals obviously would be to be really successful, so whenever she does decide to travel home, she don't have to deal with the stress of, having enough money whenever she travel home, because I don't expect her to completely change. That culture is who she is. So if that's the thing that's expected and that's what they do whenever they arrive home, I think that maybe she can, set long-term goals to where she can make more money. Short-term goals as well, like her short-term goal now could just be securing a solid job or creating a strong business, and maybe not right now focus on buying Gucci every week, because she does buy an extreme amount of Gucci. I'm talking thousands of dollars worth of bags, and maybe she can put that money into investing in her business. That way she can have a long-term revenue stream that whenever she goes home, she don't have to deal with the stress of having money to give away. And she can just increase her wealth, and she doesn't have that burden on her. So the last person I interviewed was my husband. His name is Terrence. He drives trucks. So I asked him what his stressors were, and his are dealing with people and work. And I'm pretty sure somewhere in there I'm one of his stressors, but we not gonna talk about that. But anyway, just dealing with people and work. And I asked him, what do he do to deal with the stresses of dealing with people and work? And he said, drink alcohol, avoid people, and stand to himself. My observations of him is that he has social issues and seems to have a negative look on people. And when it comes to dealing with people, I think he can reduce his stress by developing satisfying relationships with people that share similar interests with him. He should seek social support. It is important to have a social support system when it comes to dealing with stressful situations, because yes, I'm his wife and I can help him with some situations, but sometimes it's important to just, you want to call a good friend or whatever. And I think if he would be more socially open, he would be happier, and it would probably make his job easier because he wouldn't be so hesitant to talk to people about issues. I think he can also reduce or actually in total eliminate his alcohol use, because he drives trucks, so he can't drink while he's on the road. So on the weekends he want to drink, but I feel like if he just eliminated, with him already having a poor diet being on the road, I think that it would help him, be more physically, feel better. His poor diet, you know, has effect on his cognitive functions. So I think that's one of the things he can do. What I've observed with all three of the interviewees was that work was a factor in all of their stress, whether it was, you know, having an adequate job, to make enough money to supply, or just the whole outlook of work. I see that work is a huge stressor for American people, and I feel like we need to come up with some kind of way, whether it's meditating, you know, talking to people, social support, to not make work such a stressor, because stressor like work kills. Stress kills. So overall, I think I had 3 decent interviews, and I hope that I offered them some solid advice when it comes to dealing with stress methods. Everyone seemed to receive what I was saying well. So thank you for watching my video. Goodbye.